What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So is it a coincidence that Derek Lansford posted the most muscular shot and is followed by Hadi Chupan posting a similar most muscular shot on his IG story just a few hours ago? So both these guys have been battling it out for that first spot since 2022 and now the score is 1-1 and that rivalry is getting fierce and fierce with every passing year. So Hadi Chupan is carrying all the pressure from Iranian people, his fans, and the pride of his country is at stake here. And I have to say, what an awesome bodybuilder Hadi Chupan really is. I mean, who would have thought that the Hadi Chupan that we saw back in 2016, battling it out with Rolly Winkler at Shredded Classic, this guy would become Mr. Olympia just a few years later. So Hadi Chupan is entering this year's Mr. Olympia as the biggest threat to the reigning champion Derek Lansford. And what an incredible story he has. So this might hurt Flex Lewis's fans. But I have to say the guy was lucky that Hadi Chupan did not come onto the scene back when he was the 212 champion. Even a legend like Jay Cutler said that Hadi would have beaten Flex Lewis. So since the moment the new Mr. Olympia was announced back in 2023, I'm talking about last year, you bet that Hadi must be waiting for that moment again. And we are now just under 8 weeks out to witness history again. Because whoever wins this show, one thing is really certain. This is gonna be one of the best Mr. Olympia ever. Next up, we have the guest posing update of Brett Wilkin, less than 6 weeks out of this year's Legion Sports, where he will be hoping to get his Olympia qualification for next year. So this was a great look for Brett, with 6 more weeks to go. So conditioning has never been a problem for Brett, because apart from the Arnold Classic 2022, where they tried to come in way too full, his conditioning has been absolutely spot on in all the other shows that he has done. So keep in mind, that was the same stage and the same lighting where Martin Fitzwater gets posed, and Martin is gonna compete just 2 weeks after Brett. But Martin's conditioning was looking a little behind. He was looking a little soft for 8 weeks out. But I have to say, different coaches, different approach, and obviously everyone is different. So Brett's comeback is happening after almost 2 years, because the last show that he did, that was the Big Man Weekend back in 2022. I mean, he went cold turkey for a few months, trying to fix his gut health. He himself revealed that he was off everything, even TRT during that time, because he was trying to fully detox his system at that time. So the Legion Sports 2024, that is also going to be really interesting, as there won't be any big names doing it. I mean, no one from the Olympia top 10 will be there. So that is a very solid chance for some of these guys to get their Olympia qualification for 2025 as early as possible. So Brett ain't the biggest guy or the most athletic guy in the pro league. His calling card is his density and the great conditioning that he brings. So 6 weeks is plenty of time to beat his Romania Pro 2022 look, because that, in my opinion, that was his best ever. Next up, we have an off-season physique update of Blessing Brett. So he's claiming to be 310 pounds here, which is heavier than James Hollingshead, Regan Grimes, or even Hunter Labrada at the peak of their off-season. So I have to say good for Blessing, because the man is pushing all the limits this year. So Blessing really lost all his hype last year, especially in Italy, when he was even unable to place top 4 in a show that he was aiming to win. So losing to Regan Grimes and Nathan Diasha, that was understandable. But he also lost to Roman Fritz, as well as Xiaoming Yan. And we have seen Xiaoming Yan competing this year, and he did not even make top 8 at this past Chicago Pro. So the competition is getting better and better with every passing year. There's so much talent coming up, and the guys are changing at such a fast pace. So Blessing also knows that he needs to step it up, and he needs to make some major improvements. Otherwise, he won't even be able to win a pro show. So I have no idea who his current coach is. So looking back at all the physiques that he brought to the stage in the last 2 years, Indy Pro and the New York Pro 2022, they were undoubtedly his best looks ever. And George Farah was the one coaching him at that time. So if Blessing is pushing even beyond 310 pounds, that means he isn't planning to compete this year, which is also a really good strategy, because he needs to put in a lot of work. He needs to put on a lot of mass, especially in his lower half, if he wants to be really competitive in the men's open class. Krystian Wolski was one of the most impressive guys at this year's New York Pro. He was able to place 5th at that show, but even Matt Jensen, the coach of Nick Walker, he could not help but notice him and the potential that this guy has. So the Neo Pro was his best look so far. He made tremendous improvements in the last 1 year, and that did not go unnoticed. So California Pro was his second show of the year, where he placed top 3. And Wolski did 2 shows after that as well, Flex Pro Italy and Portugal Pro. And both these shows had good competition in the form of William Bonac, Nathan Diesha and Beros Tabani. So all the shows that Wolski did in 2024, he had a top 5 finish, which is a great result, considering that he wasn't even getting noticed back in 2023. So what's next for Krystian? He is aiming for that post-Olympia tour, as he has just announced that he will be doing Romania Pro, which is happening in 12 weeks time from now. So when it comes to the men's open bodybuilding, almost every single bodybuilder out there, they're striving for more mass. I mean, just look at his Neo Pro look. He looked absolutely amazing. He had so much size, great quad sweep, small waist, and he opens up real nice while hitting some of the shots. So maybe add some more thickness in the back, and he will be winning some shows, and he will get to the Olympia stage. The only concern here is that he got a very little break from all the competitions that he did this year. I mean, Portugal Pro, that was only like 5 weeks ago, and he is already back on prep. After what we saw at this year's Classic Physique Texas Pro, where a guy named Matheus, who was just making his pro debut, he was able to beat former Olympians, and he even pushed his fellow countryman, Gabriel Zancanelli, for the win. And actually, a lot of the people, they had him winning the show. So it was only a matter of time till he secures his Olympia spot. And it took him just 1 more week. And I have to say he came in a lot more tighter, and he secured his Olympia spot last night. So this guy is such a great talent in classic physique. And if he looks like that, just at the start of his professional career, I have to say sky's the limit for this guy. Now hopefully he still has room to grow to get bigger before he maxes out, as his quads are world class, but he certainly can add more muscle in certain areas like his chest and his delts. So does anyone know how many Brazilians are going to be competing in classic physique at this year's Miss Olympia? We have Ramondino, Gabriel, Diego, Fabio Jr., and now Matheus. So these are 5 guys right there. So that is massive amount of talent coming out of that region, especially in classic. So how did you guys rate Matheus' look in his recent show? Next up, we have an 8 weeks out physique update of Matt Grego, the Neo Pro Classic Physique champion. So most of you guys must have seen him with Derek Lunsford, especially in his workout videos, as both these guys train together. And Derek always appreciates the energy that Matt brings to these workouts. So I have no idea what Krystian is feeding him at the moment, because if he continues to grow at this pace, I think he will have no choice but to switch over to the men's open bodybuilding, which is gonna be unreal, since the guy started his career as a men's physique competitor. So he's a tall guy with insane thickness and density, and he looks so much better at 8 weeks out compared to what he looked like before this year's Pittsburgh Pro, which was his first show of the year. So Matt isn't one of those trademark classically built guys, but I have to say, damn, the man is so damn huge, and he is gonna take up a lot of space on that Olympia stage. So he made his Olympia debut last year, but he was unable to place. But he is expecting way better results this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.